maybe back now, in India, and I am working very proud in an IT job among and smiles. And now I am in a better position where I can survive myself without anyone. I am very thankful and thank you so much, sir. And also now for making me I am in a very good stand. I feel like these I am in a very in front of all these people. And I got married so much for. I can proudly say my wife is a doctor. The opportunity right to talk in front of all of you like this. And I am very I'm very thankful to everyone who Roy. I'm also very thankful whoever supports me for my parents and my brother, my sister, my master, everyone, friends, everybody. And now I am very thankful. Now I am working and I will definitely utilize this opportunity. I will continue to work hard. I will continue to grow, and I will help people to be a person like me. I will definitely. And also, I wanted to say one more thing that Praveen sir, when he is in his position, he influenced many people. He encouraged many people. Now I cannot say, like there are so many students, not only in America, in everywhere, in all different countries. Like students are there studying, working, and just because of his encouragement. And now he has chosen a different way where he has more scope comparatively his job. And I have been, as I told, I have been watching many news channels and all. So I today morning when I was watching YouTube, I got a YouTube video suggestion. People are thinking about you, sir. People are they're spreading the news about you and how important you are, and also not only there are many students, they are all thinking about you, sir. And the way you choose is going to be definitely that will definitely reach you where you wanted to go, sir. And I am with you, sir, and we are all with you, sir, and we continue to be with you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rajendra. If I can tell something, my story resembles Rajendra at least 80% of my story. But I don't think I really want to take too much of time to explain about myself. But I came similarly from very small town in Andhra, and my parents were not from great schools, and I went through regular elementary schools in local medium. So, and what I'm trying to say this is a lot of people who came in 90s and 2000 time to America as engineers pretty much has same story what he has. Once they came here, I think they built their network, they improved many things, and one among them, just I want to say that. But Rajendra, and you are doing amazing, and I'm very sure you would go to greater heights. Anyway, that's all about that one. And let's invite our main guest, RSP Garu. Please come here and take the rest, and we are going to. Thank you very much.
So like Rajendra, there are millions. The reason we call millions, lakhs of people every year being influenced, educated, guided, coached by Dr.R.S.Praveen Kumar. Some of you might have seen this movie called Purna. It is in Amazon Prime. This is in Amazon Prime, and that's his life story. So we went back to India after Harvard. A lot of people might have thought, Telugulo, yeah, he just thought, itlanta officer endaro. So he took a challenge. He took a challenge that is impossible for a poor girl, Purna Malavat, a tribal girl, and there is a scheduled settled caste boy, Anand, 13 years, 15 years. Yeah. So Purna Malavat set a record that cannot be broken unless China revises their law. So she set a record at the age of 13 and a half years, 13 years. So I was on the phone with him while the expedition was going on. Roy, if anything happens to Purna, they will shoot me on the road. The establishment. So he took that challenge, proved that this can be done. Then he went on. Very first challenge. It's a very first challenge because there are so many naysayers. There are so many people that no, it's not going to do anything. So from there, after fast forward 9 years, millions of people are impacted, and that's why we call the man behind million smiles. So when I am product of the schools. So back in those days, you would see one doctor, one MBBS, maybe one IIT, maybe one, I don't think anybody went to AIM. So now, in January, I went for a function. He was extremely busy. He couldn't go. Myself, Dr. Venkat Maharajam, we both went for the function just to fill his role. 250 MBBS students. 250. But this just 1 year, just 1 year. He went from 1 to 250 and hundreds of IITs. And I went to Delhi University, 100, in JMU. And in US, just these 6 months alone, from the January, 6-7 months, 47 visas. So the kids who are in 5th or 6th grade, they are moving into PGs. So where is they go for PGs? In IITs, America, London, Australia. So imagine these kids, if 1% of them become RS.Praveen Kumar. See the effect. It's just like it's a fusion reaction. If there are any chemical students that are here. So we are very busy making arrangements for his trip. We tried our best, but about 1 week ago, students like Rajendra said, "Sir, we are going to make an audio visual. You guys are not covering all his accomplishments. You're jumping all over." So he said, "Yeah, go ahead." So one of the students prepared audio visual. So we are going to play that. And that shows who is RS.Praveen Kumar, what he has done. So this video is made by a girl named Vaaradhi. She's a master's student at Sacred Heart University. And when she was coming for the visa, she had no money. And I asked her, what do you have? Sir, we have 2 acres. That's all we have. Barren land. They sold 1 acre land. She came here. So she is business analytics master student at the Sacred Heart University. Like her, there are lakhs of students that he touched, transformed. And it's my honor to talk about him. And thank you for the opportunity. I've seen many MLAs, MPs. A couple of times I seen KCR and I seen Rajshekar Reddy close by, how they talk, how they behave, what they do. Never seen a leader like him. The character, the trust, and the qualifications. He's a doctor by education, and also part of his mid-career, he came to Harvard, and he did master's in public policy administration. Qualifications is very important. The trust, qualification, very crucial for a leader. We have seen many leaders, and we have seen many, rogue leaders. But here is the leader with those qualifications. And his mission, his visioning is embarking on those important things that shape the society. Education, healthcare, social justice, women empowerment, jobs, infrastructure. So these are the things you see in a leader. And with that, I'm going to request our moderator go to the next. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. And we are not here to raise the funds. We are here to introduce him, who is RSP Kumar. But of course, when you embark on this mission, when you are actually fighting with the Goliaths, who are corrupt, who amass massive money, to be able to fight with them, you need an operational support. He has to travel, he has to go to remote places. When he joined BSP, 2 lakhs people came, not a rupee spent on them. And these Goliaths spend lakhs of rupees to pull people to the meetings. So in any way possible, support him, and let's see him transform this political system, which is the most linchpin, a building block of a nation. India right now is the most dangerous country in the world. And Oslo, the institution which gives Nobel Prize, said it is most dangerous country to live. And one of the US organizations said it is a difficult place to travel. And here we are, Indian origin. It is our moral responsibility, ethical responsibility to support a leader who will turn the India into a magnificent India. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I have one point when he said, about India. Give you an opportunity. I don't want to live in this country. I want to go back to my country, live with my cousins, my distant relatives, my village where I was born, raised. But there are not many opportunities back in 90s. So pretty much we're kind of pushed away. Okay, this country belongs to elite, political connected people. You got some well educated, go to different countries, settle down. So what happened? I left all my relatives. I just came to foreign country. I know none, and built my life with social network, friends, known people. So in 90s, even today it could be close to that. If 5% enjoy all the benefits of society, especially in India, and maybe around 90% people, they get educated, they will be left with not much opportunities. They move to Singapore, US, UK, whatnot. Luckily, there are MNCs that are able to acquire. But what I'm trying to bring is there is a lot of national wealth. It is held and taken by very, very few people, not maybe 1%. That is what my note when he is bringing the India point into the picture. But anyway, it's a great. That is besides that, I think you want to bring a. So Smita, would you mind please coming and come over here and bring your 2 points? Then the chief guest will come into play to address us, please.
Thank you. Jai 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 Bhim. Jai 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 Bhim. Jai 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 Bhim. Jai Bhim all, Jai Savitri. And welcome Dr.RS.Praveen Kumar sir. So my name is Smita Dange, and I live in London with my 2 little kids and my husband. I've been in this area for almost 15 years now, and I work for Amazon. That's what I do professionally, but apart from that, I'm socially very active. And I have been a founding member of Ambedkar Association of North America. I started paying back to society when starting in 2015, when I attended a United Nations conference where I was addressing marginalized women from India. And that gave me a real opportunity where I could see what are all the things that we could do. And moving on, when Anna Ambedkar Association of North America was formed, I started a project called Empower Women. And this was in 2013. In 2015, I went to India. I started I went to Hyderabad, and I started seeing who are the people who I can associate with so that I can expand onto that project. That's when I found the work of Dr.RS.Praveen Kumar sir. I hesitantly emailed him thinking he's an IPS officer. I don't know whether he will reply or not and whatnot. But he was so gracious. So gracious. He not just replied back, but he also invited me to one of the sports day event that was being conducted in one of the nearby villages to Hyderabad. And when I went there, I was surprised. I was amazed looking at the infrastructure of the school itself. Because you could see all the classrooms were new. Even the restrooms were clean. And this is complete opposite from what I had expected out of a government school, right? And not just that. What amazed me the most was the girls who I was going to address. There were 2,000 to 3,000 girls from elementary school and middle school over there. And I was getting prepared to speak in Telugu, which I am a little, hesitant to speak in Telugu because I come from a Maharashtrian background, but I was getting prepared to speak in Telugu. But the girls, when they started interacting with me, they started interacting with me in English. And their confidence was amazing. Not just their confidence, their vocabulary was better than mine. These were the type, there were 2,000 to 3,000 girls in that place. And each and everyone who I was speaking, who was getting up to ask me questions, was better than the previous one. So it's just the quality of and the quality of students that were being built in those social residential schools. I could really see that. I witnessed that with my own eyes, and it was really amazing. And then when it was time for me to introduce my project to him, actually there was no need because he was already doing a lot more than that is expected, because the girls over there were growing in every single area. They were growing culturally, they were growing in games, they were growing with their confidence, with everything. So, and which is similar to how he himself is, right? So he made sure that everyone else was getting all that information to grow, all those resources to grow the way he has grown. So he is also pretty versatile, right? He pursued his study in veterinary services, and then he went on to become an IPS officer in 1995. And during his career as an IPS, he earned his master's degree in public administration from Harvard University. He was one of the very few police officers from India who got fellow prestigious Edward Mason program in Harvard University. And it was here where he decided to pivot and become the Secretary of Social Welfare Residential Schools. And during his tenure as the Secretary of Telangana Social Welfare Residential Educational Institutions Society, and same for Tribal Society, he introduced several innovative and path-breaking programs for holistic development of the children. Praveen Kumar is the founder of Guiding Force to launch payback movement called SWAROS, where SWAROS stand for Social Welfare Eros. Eros means in Greek for sky. It means sky is the limit and there is no reverse gear or no looking back or no showing down or no slowing down. SWAROS students not only focus in academics, but also are successful in arts, cultural programs, sports, and games. His work is selected as one among 6 nations shortlisted across the world. Some of the awards that he received are as follows. First, Police Medal for Gallantry by President of India for the conspicuous act of bravery in Warangal district. Second, President's Police Medal for Meritorious Services. Internal Security Medal by Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. Telangana State Excellence Award by 2017 by State Government of Telangana, and Dr. Ambedkar International Award 2020 by ANA for imparting high quality education in government-run public schools. And the list goes on and on. If I start listing them all, then we might have to skip RSP speech. So I will limit the words to these. His achievements remind me of this quote, of his own quote: lifespan has limits, but your potential to transform has no limits. Dr.RS.Praveen Kumar joined BSP last year, 8th August 2021, and has been appointed as party's Telangana State Coordinator. And now, without further ado, please join me in welcoming the man behind Million Smiles, Dr.RS.Praveen Kumar himself.
I think, Venkat, would you like to say something about Global NRI Forum?
Yeah. So, good evening, everybody. My name is Venkat Marudu. I live in Boston, and I'm originally from Jamgaon in Telangana. So, we are organizing this basically on behalf of Global NRI Forum that was actually formed as soon as Dr. RSP has entered politics. And within 1 year, you can see we are able to arrange 10 cities, these type of events, okay? So in just 1 year, if you have worked in US and building any organizations, you can imagine how hard it would have been. But for RSP, there's been a great support in the United States, and we've been very fortunate to have so many cities we have to turn down. So this Global NRI Forum is actually found on the great ideals of Pule Ambedkar vision of India, where equality, social justice, or liberty, fraternity. These are the things that enshrined in our constitution. So most of the members of GNF, come from various background, and it is inclusive of every caste, creed, and religion. We have all kinds of people from all sections of society, not only Telangana, Andhra, but we have a lot of friends here, from Maharashtra, from Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Chhattisgarh. So hope this platform will grow into a very strong national platform across United States to, inclusive of everybody, bring a unity among Indians. Unlike, we have so many organizations, I don't want to talk about it, how well, these are. So with that, I just want to, just put the context of today's meeting. Basically, we are here to witness, a big change that we can anticipate, See, we all are here in United States, right? Indians are the richest minority. Brilliant engineers, doctors, software technologists. What comes to mind? We are a CEO of Fortune, CEO of Microsoft, Adobe, Google, Pepsi, right? So this is a great story of India, right? But is it the complete story of India? It is only a small part of India's story. The India story that we are talking today, you have seen in front of us, a student, how hard he had to struggle to come here, and he was lucky. I am a second generation educated. My father struggled to go to even get his high school. He had to go to 3 towns. But I was fortunate I could get education. And the government of India gave me a free education. And also I'm a proud beneficiary of reservation. Government gave me an opportunity. And I never let that opportunity down. But I was lucky. I was at the right time, at the right moment. There are so many people like me don't have opportunity. Just put the numbers in perspective, 30% of the population struggles to feed at 2 meals a day. Okay? A Telangana, a vibrant state supposed to be the highest GDP. You go to a Mahbub Nagar, which is 50 kilometers from Hyderabad, has a less than 60% of literacy rate today. These are government numbers. This is not acceptable. Okay, India has a vast resources. We have 75 years of independence we just celebrated. Can't we feed our people? Can't we educate our people? What kind of India we want? What kind of a nation we want as society? I know some of you come from a privileged background. Just think about it. A nation, after 75 years of independence, still struggling to become a nation. Baba Sahib Ambedkar, when he submitted the constitution, he said, from introduction of this constitution, we are achieving a political democracy, that every individual is going to be equal. There was one shot, he gave voting rights to everybody who is 18 and above, right? But he said, we will be plagued with a deep socio-economic disparity. Until we correct those socio-economic disparity, India cannot be a nation. And believe it or not, 75 years of independence, these disparities, we did not succeed in narrowing down to the extent that we have inhuman levels of poverty. Okay, so this is not acceptable. And we have seen there was a feudal system before our India got independence. Like I said, paper, we are political democracy, but in reality, there's no social democracy. So how do we bridge this, right? So we have constitution, we have rulers and parties, different parties ruled, of course, states, but nothing much drastically changed. And if you look at the pattern of our leaders, you look at the pattern of our ruling class, those feudals that are privileged, that has access to resources, that were socially advanced, continue to basically rule us. The majority of the population didn't have a chance, no representation, no real representation, right? So it's a time we need to really ponder and think what kind of a nation we want and why it is. So a people like Dr.RS.Praveen Kumar, who came from bottom of the society, and he went to become a veterinary doctor, IPS, and a Harvard alumni. and went and transformed the school system. He touched millions, 1 million students with 1,000 crore budgets per year. He had only 1,000 crores of budget. And in Telangana state, this year is supposed to have 2.65 lakh crores. It's not a small money. But yet, we are not even able to run a decent school. Recently I was in India. I worked with, some of you know, Aknur Murali, Roy and I, part of Social Democratic Forum. So we went to visit few schools. I mean, it is just unimaginable. A country like ours, we are treating our children these type of. To the bathroom, I stepped one and then ran away. I couldn't stand. This is not acceptable. How our kids, I said to private school and public school, we all are beneficiaries. Our kids enjoy this nation, this country, and why we cannot do the same things. We're all very fortunate. This is, with all its limitation, is still a great country. Okay, it's a much more evolved democracy, much more egalitarian society, and we all get benefits out of it. But yet, a country like India is nowhere close to becoming a egalitarian society or equal opportunity. So it is time we need to think, okay, as educated, as enlightened, as people living in America, as we have seen the global world, we need to think, is this the India we want? And we have a real opportunity to change in a person like Dr.R.S.Praveen. We're so fortunate he belongs to Telangana, and we want to see the change that we all want to envision. With that, thank you very much, Dr. R.S.Praveen.
Thanks, Venkat. Ladies and gentlemen, very, very good evening. Jai Bhim and Jai Bharat to you all. Thank you very, very much for this wonderful evening. And I have no words to describe the hard work that has gone into bringing these many great people into this place. Please put your hands together for all those people who have worked. A lot of names in my mind, but I'm afraid that I may miss some names. So that's why, please, join me in congratulating those people for this great evening. Friends, this has been quite a journey in the US. I landed in Dubai on 12th, straight, stopped my yatra. That was 117 days. Then stopped my yatra and then came to Hyderabad and then packed 3-4 shirts and pants and then came to airport, and after that I landed in Dubai. And then after 3 days in Dubai, then I came to Boston, and then I've been, me, Roy, and Venkat, 3 of us, we have been traveling to quite a few cities and drove. They relentlessly have been driving without any rest for almost thousands of, hundreds of miles. So it has been a really, really, and we met great people this journey. And today you're all here. So because you're all extremely concerned about what's happening in motherland, you wanted to listen to the stories from the motherland and how you want to see your motherland in the days to come. So that's the reason why you probably, most of you may have gone out for, could have gone out for dinners, or you would have had parties in your homes, or go for camping, or preparing your children to go to the schools and colleges for the next semester. So and many other things, but you all postponed those events and then you came straight to this place. And once again, I thank you very, very much. Friends, I'm thankful to Roy and Smita for reading a little bit of my bio, but I want to tell a few more things that have not been mentioned in bio. So I was born, my mother. I want to tell about my mother. My mother is the real source of, and continues to be a real source of inspiration for me. She was born and bonded laborer, and her grandparents were bonded laborers, and then she was also going for agricultural labor work way back in 1950s, and she was rescued by 2 teachers. And then she became a student in a government school, and then later she joined the government school, and then she went on to complete her teacher training course, and then she retired as headmistress in one of the government schools. And we are three. I am an IPS officer. I was an IPS officer. So then my brother is a professor, and then my sister is a doctor. So my mother's story always inspired me. Even while I came to Harvard also, before I came to Harvard also, my mother's story inspired me, because I still remember in 2010, I went to a home on Jan 1st. So there's a small festival in our village on every Jan 1st New Year celebration. So I went home, and then my mom wanted me to stay for 3-4 more hours in our village, because whenever I go to home, so I used to say, because of security reasons, I have a lot of this work, that work. So I cannot stay for more than an hour, but my mother said, you stop for about 3 to 4 hours more. So she took me to each and every, lane and by-lane in which my relatives and my friends who played, lot of games with me in my childhood. Now, if you went to all the homes and then showed, do you see these people proud that they are living? You're an IPS officer. Or should I feel that I'm a proud mother of an IPS officer? Or and then some of them lost their lives, and then some people, some girls, they got married very early, and then they became mothers at a very young age. And then she asked me one question: they got married. Do you still feel proud that they became mothers at a IPS officer? Or should I feel that I'm a proud mother of an IPS officer? Or should I feel ashamed that in spite of her son being an IPS officer, all his friends and all our neighbors are still living in abject poverty? So that has opened my eyes. And then later I came back, and then first thing what I did was I taken 50,000 rupees from my bank account and then created a library in our village, because till such time I have not been doing anything, to be very honest. I've been helping people here and there, but not very concerted way. Then second thing, the separate Telangana agitation, it has opened my eyes again. I saw thousands and thousands of students who spun your university. They were going to Tarnaka. They were trying to, stop the traffic, and then trying to, convince the politician that Telangana must be a reality, because Telangana people have been given a raw deal. So, and they took their lives. And then I carried dead bodies as a police officer, because the children emulated themselves, and then thinking that the new Telangana would definitely, bring them, new hope and then new horizons and then new prosperity. But anyway, that didn't happen. That I'll tackle a little later. So then that made me realize that there is a lot of distress in the students as well. There's a lot of frustration. They have no guidance at all. So then I realized that I should also think about, I should become a student to understand the life of a student. Then I took the permission from the government, and then at the age of 44, I went for GRE coaching and TOEFL coaching. And, morning to evening, we used to, fire tear gas shells on the agitating students, and come home and then take a shower and then go to GRE coaching. And then after that, I had applied for, Princeton, then Harvard, and then London School of Economics. And then I was offered admission in both Harvard as well as London School of Economics, and then Princeton and get admitted. So I got into Harvard. And after that, I had an option. Many of my colleagues in Harvard, they wanted to stay back, and then they wanted to, join the international organizations and so on and so forth. But I wanted to get back to my motherland as early as possible, because there is so much of challenge out there. So that's the reason why the moment that my graduation ceremony was over, the convocation was over, and then I landed in India. Then I went straight to the chief minister and then requested him, so please give me an opportunity to serve education, because I'm very, very passionate about education, because I saw children, being given a raw deal in the classrooms, raw deal in the universities, and then many children who are supposed to be in the universities are becoming mothers at a very young age. So mothers and fathers at a very young age. And then somehow he got confused, and then because I'm an IPS officer, so he thought I would be very but I said I wanted to go to education. And finally, I got the job of Secretary of Social Welfare Schools, from which people like Rajendra, so the millions of people who study in those institutions. So that's how I got into education sector. first thing what I found when I entered the classroom, there was no life in the classroom. Children were caged birds. So there was no freedom to the students. And quite a few teachers, at least 10% of the teachers, they entered into classrooms without valid credentials. They had fake certificates. Even in India, we have, I know some of the even celebrated politicians also have fake certificates. I don't want to, I don't want to mention they are in top positions. So I don't have to talk about that. So what I will do in the classroom. So I gave an English teacher was teaching the moment I entered the classroom, and then she was teaching, 5th grade English. Then I asked her to read the lesson without any mistakes, and then she fainted. And then principal came to me, sir, please don't ask all these questions. So there will be, pandemonium, like they will really, there'll be, kind of pandemic of, fainting. So please don't ask this question. I went back to office and then asked for the files of these people. At least 30 to 40 people have entered the system with fake certificates. They bought them in Nagpur, or they bought them in Bijapur. They bought them in all those fictitious universities, and then they got entered the system. So that was a condition in which I saw the schools. And then children were energetic. They wanted to do something new, something great, something extraordinary. And then they wanted to make their parents proud. And then they wanted to go out. They wanted to play this game, that game. They wanted to follow, like you have so many cricket stars here. They wanted to become cinema stars. They wanted to, be great cricket stars, or, sports stars, or doctors, engineers, and so on and so forth. But all those dreams got buried because of the system, which was absolutely rotten. So that was a point from where we started. So I visited all the schools 6 months. Most of the times I was signing files in the trains. I was signing files in the guest houses. I was signing files in the bus stands. And then I finally, visited all the schools and I came back. And the first thing what I did was I wanted to change the identity of these children. So in India, you have, as my predecessors have been mentioning here, you have a very, very odious, notorious caste system. So which divides people. It is not division of labor, it is division of laborers, as Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has said. It's a permanent division of laborers, and then where you cannot go from one strata to another strata. So the first thing what I did was I wanted to change the name of this, the titles that are given to the communities. So in Telugu, there is something called, Badugu. Badugu is, people who are perpetually backward. Nimna, people who are lower. So then Balahina, people are weaker. Then Dalit, so broken. So these are the identities. If they are forced on the students, if they are stereotyped recklessly that you are a Dalit, you are Badugu, you are Balahina, you are such, you are a woman, you can't do anything. So all these things, then suddenly they become weaker and then weaker. And then they try to live up to the identity that has been given to them. So I wanted to change all that. So I wanted to raise the bar. I wanted to reshape, I regenerate the identity. That's why I said SWARE. State welfare and aero. Aero is something flies, continuously keep flying, keep flying, keep flying. So then we gave the 10 commandments. The first commandment, I am not inferior to anyone. Second commandment, I shall be the leader wherever I am. Third is, I shall do what I love and be different. I shall always think big and aim high. I shall be honest, hardworking, and punctual. I shall never blame others for my failures. I shall repay what I borrow. I shall neither beg nor cheat. I shall never fear the unknown, and I shall never give up. So these are the 10 commandments which have been given. Our degree college girls have added another commandment. We shall not marry till we become independent. This is the 11th commandment which has been added by our 30,000. We have 30,000 degree college young women who would have otherwise become mothers at a very young age. We rescued all of them by starting 45 residential degree colleges for young women from all communities in English medium. So they don't have to pay even a single penny to study there. It's all the state cost. So that was a kind of, identity re-engineering that we have done. So it's very important to know yourself, to know your strengths, and it's very important to reshape your own identity. That's what we started. And then when we gave these 10 commandments, we wanted to prove to the world that there is, yes, these children have potential. It's not that, they're always destined to live outside the village. It's not that they're destined to become mothers at a very young age. It's not that they're destined to become, auto drivers or the agricultural laborers at a very young age. We wanted to prove to the world, and that's where we found these two prodigies, Malavat Purna and Anand Kumar. So we trained about 110 students, and then first we had sent them to a place called Bongir, where we have 600 meters high rock. So there we had the rock climbing, and then called Mount Renox, 17,000 feet above sea level. So young girls of they stayed. Imagine children from South India who have not seen a red bus or a public bus in their lives, and then they go to Darjeeling, and then they conquered the peak called Mount Renox, 17,000 feet above sea level. So young girls of them, 10 were girls, and then girls, they have their biological problems like menstruation and all that, but still these girls survived all those problems, and then they stayed at the Mount Renox, and then that gave us the confidence. These girls are not ordinary girls. They have been denied the opportunities for ages, boys and girls both. They have been denied the opportunities, then we must give those opportunities. Convince the government, and then we ensure that we get sufficient budget, 65 or 67 lakhs. Many officers have questioned me, why is that you are wasting this money? 67 lakhs, we could have built 3 classrooms, we could have built, another school. So why is it you are wasting money? No, I said, no. This is going to transform not just these 2 kids, but this is going to transform the entire generation in India. That was it probably in the world. So why not? Why not? So that's how we started this expedition, and then for 52 days it went on, and then in which 18 Sherpas died. So 18 Sherpas died, on April 18th and 2014. But still, I called these girls, would you like to come back? Because I have a lot of pressure from the government that you must come back. Then these girls said, this girl and boy, they said, no, we are not going to come back, because for ages they have been stereotyped. Ages they have been suppressed. Ages they have been branded as good for nothing. But this time we want to prove to the world that we are something. So they went ahead, and then finally on 25th of May 2014 at 7:30 a.m., Malavat Purna happened to be the youngest ever female to have scaled Mount Everest in history. Imagine a girl born into an agricultural laborer family in the fringes of Kamareddy or Nizamabad forest, and going to the highest peak in the world is quite a journey. I'm very happy to share with you, she has conquered all the highest peaks in all continents. This year she has conquered all the peaks. Yes. So similarly, Anand Kumar, again, when Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, gave him a certificate, he didn't have an almirah to store the certificate that is given by the Prime Minister of this country. So that was a kind of poverty, but today those kids, they're really role models for most of the students. So what happened later is very, very interesting. So once Everest is done, there was explosion of confidence in the students. Till such time, they were thinking that, as Roy rightly mentioned, there were only 3 students every year coming to, going to medical colleges. But after that, what happened was explosion of confidence. We had the same set of teachers. Then we started training the teachers in a different way. Teachers also started realizing that they have been making mistakes. They have been taking it easier. So, but this time, because of the, the name that got, the name the organization got, the international fame the organization acquired. So teachers also started transforming. So one small incident had a cascading impact on the entire functioning of the system. So then teachers also slowly transformed, and the students also realized their strength. And then when I left the organization in 2021, we had about 253 doctors coming from the same institutions. So in 2012, we had we had 3 students, and then in 2021, we had 253 students. It's quite a journey. So this is not going to stop. I'm not there. But even this year also, we are hoping that they will go to up to 300. So it's not just about doctors. So we have girls who went to different parts of the world all on their own. I shared a story of a girl. Her name is Anjali. She's from an interior gold community from Adilabad district. Adilabad is a huge forest. She goes from that place to Shamshabad International Airport. And then from there, she goes to Poland to teach Polish people English. We're part of ISEC program. We had sent students to, Russia, Cambodia, then Nepal, then Morocco, then Egypt, and but for COVID-19 pandemic, we would have sent many more people, and then we were very, lucky that we brought all of them back on March 15th, and then March 22nd, there was ban on international travel. So we were very, very lucky. So this was the kind of courage, and then we have students now. We have started so many schools, like for sports, then for film stars, and then morning I was sharing with Satyendra and his family. So I was sharing that we have started even coding academies. Now only 1% of Indian population has access to these kind of things, and that's what Venkat Maharaj has been saying. So only 1% has been grabbing all the opportunities in this country, 1 or 5 or 6. So remaining 95 was always denied the quality education. I thought for a while, why not these girls and boys? So we went for audition, we went for a lot of talent search, and then we found the most talented students in the interior areas of Telangana, and brought all of them and then put them to a mission code program where they started learning the logical thinking, then design thinking, and then programming, programming all those basic things which are required for any, web designer or programmer and so on and so forth. Today we have coding academies, we have law academies, we have Sainik schools, not just for boys, but for young women as well. And then we have Sainik schools. We have recently, one of our students got selected to become a fighter jet pilot. He will be flying 1,300 crore worth of fighter jets in the country. And his mother, he's a single parent, child of a single parent. So I can go on and on and on and on. Then you might ask me, so why did you leave the job when things were so happy? Things were so good. And then you have been doing great things. So this is where the real challenge lies. I did all this with just 1,000 crores. I had 200,000 students, all communities, not just scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, all communities, 200,000 students. So as the days progressed, our rulers, they thought, if these children become prosperous, like children, if these children, they go to Western countries like you all have come here, so what would happen to them? Then you slowly start thinking about your motherland, like what we are doing today in this room. Then you also start questioning about what is going wrong in your motherland. Our rulers did not want that. I read a book written by James Robinson and then Darren Asimoglu, Why Nations Fail. The successful nations build the institutions. Successful nations invest in human development. The failed nations, they concentrate the power and authority, and they concentrate the wealth in a few hands. So today in India, there is excessive concentration of wealth, excessive concentration of authority, in spite of being called as democracy, but it is democracy of dominance. Only the dominant people, the few have the stranglehold on the democracy. That is what is happening in India. So they saw a threat in these children. In 2016, my son joined Delhi University in Hindu college. And I have one son and a daughter. So one is a PhD, and then other is PA passed, and now she's preparing for post graduation. So my son joined in Delhi University, one of the most prestigious universities in the country. And then he called me, Nana, why don't you make your students also study? Because here I see only the politicians, then bureaucrats, then businessmen, only they send their children. Why not the poorest of the poor children? Then I created a program. I had sent about 250 boys and girls handpicked based on their brilliance and then sent them to Delhi University. We started a hostel. And today, government, yes, and some of these girls, boys and girls have been picked up by BlackRock Corporation, Blackwater Corporation, asset management companies and hedge fund companies. And the girl, the Pooja, she's an orphan, but she's picked up by BlackRock Corporation. She was a student of Lady Shri Ram College. And imagine, I had sent about 250 students. And last month when I went there, no, this month, on 4th August, we had a meeting with Mayawati. So when we went there, these girls started crying. So then I asked them what happened. Government has closed our hostel. Then I asked the minister, why did you close the hostel? Then he said, sir, it's not in my hands, it is in the hands of Chief Minister. See. So then what I gleaned out of this conversation was the government is hell-bent on stopping these children, but they don't tell it openly because they will lose the votes. They will operate in such a way that you are denied the funds. You are denied the funds that are essential for your upward social mobility. So this is what is happening. As we speak here today, our Chief Minister is going to a place called Peddapalli. So because of his visit, the schools have been declared holidays. What? If a Chief Minister visits a school, why should the schools be closed? I have no idea. So our Chief Minister, our rulers have no time to visit the schools. Our Chief Minister has not stepped, because most of you have fought for Telangana, some of you at least. So have fought for Telangana very hard, and thinking that there will be prosperity, equality, justice, a new Telangana, new hope. And your sacrifices, 1,300 people have lost their lives. Most of them are from rural, impoverished communities, and they gave up their lives. And today, it is in the hands of a few kleptocrats who have built their farmhouses. Our rulers had 50 acres when Telangana was formed, and today they have 300 acres. To go from government office to the farmhouse, you know how much our Chief Minister spends? 79 crores per year. 79 crore Indian rupees to go from his home to farmhouse and then come back. There are 200 policemen guarding his farmhouse. Who pays for this policeman? You and I. You pay, I pay, everybody pays. And then in the last 8 years, 500 crores have been spent on this guarding the private farmhouse of us Chief Minister. I have nothing against any person, but I'm talking about the institution called the Chief Minister. So today, there are no textbooks in most of the schools. How will the students, I'm talking about government schools. How can a poor person send his or her children to private schools where you have to pay 30,000, 40,000 rupees per annum? And government schools, there are no textbooks, no uniform, and then schools are falling. And all the contracts to repair the government schools have been given to corporate houses. Why not to the poor people? Why not to the cooperative societies of poor people? No, they wanted to give to only corporate schools, corporate houses. So is the case with health. That is the status of education. So is the case with the health. No, let me also share with you. There is a institution called IIIT Basar. Basar is a place where the goddess Saraswati temple is there. In that same Basar, on the banks of Godavari River, we have 9,000 brilliant students studying there, and of them 1,200 got sick because of food poisoning. 1,200 students got hospitalized on one day. And all the students asked the government was, please send Chief Minister once, let them meet with us. Let him meet with us. And CM has no heart to go there so far. No minister has gone there, no CM has gone. So what I'm trying to tell you, the government is not willing to invest in education, which has been responsible for all of you to come here. I went to Dubai. So how serious is, how impactful is education? I went to Dubai. The average temperature was 45 degrees centigrade on 12th of this month, I landed in Dubai. I came and I didn't want to see Burj Khalifa like most of the politicians go there and then I have a picture there. So, and then have parties there, and acquire flats in all palatial houses. No, I didn't want to do that. So I went straight to the camps. Imagine, the camps are like small cabins in which 30 people stay in lower bed, middle bed, and upper bed, away from families, came on visitor visa, thinking that the visitor visa will get converted into work visa. And then visitor visa gets expired. And then they call the agent back home, and agent switches off his mobile phone. And if you call the neighbor and then go to the agent and ask him to go to the agent, and then that agent goes to a politician and then threatens the family. And these people are, working like slaves. And there are stone storms, and then the sandstorms, and they eat food in the sandstorm. And most of them, the most notable feature in this is most of them are dropouts from the schooling system. Most of them are dropouts from the schooling system. And see the difference. Here we are, because we are all graduates, postgraduates, and computer science graduates, and so on and so forth. We have had the best possible education in our lives. On the other hand, our own brothers, our own sisters, they are lying like the slaves in a place called Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and what made the difference? Education. So this is what we have been fighting with the government, that give them the best education. They will chart their own course, but government doesn't want to give, because if you give the education, who will drive their cars? If you give the best education, they are thinking that who will, take care of their animals, who will take care of their farmhouses, who will do all those domestic chores in their homes. So this is the thinking of the government in India, not just in Telangana, most of the states. Then second thing is health. Health is the most, important investment any government can make. But ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you only one incident. With that, I will close about health. In Warangal, there is a super specialty hospital called Mahatma Gandhi Memorial Hospital, MGM. So one of the patients at 4 a.m., he goes to the unconscious state. So he goes to his wife and children, they take him to the hospital, and then there were no beds available, and then he was made to sleep on the floor on a stretcher in the veranda. And at 4 a.m., the band of bandicoots come and then bite him. And 4 a.m., the nurses go and then they wipe out all the blood. And then again at 6 a.m., again the band of bandicoots came, the rodents, they come and then they bite him, and then he dies because of excessive bleeding. He doesn't know. So this is the status. What I'm trying to tell you, all this could have been changed in the new Telangana. Why did this not change? Because our rulers wanted to invest in the projects which give them a lot of commissions, lot of illicit money. Today, our rulers have created a project which is worth 1.15 lakh crores. I don't know how to convert it to dollars. 1.15 lakh crores, and the utility of the project is not known. And then most of the motors in that project got sunk in the recent floods. Again, 3,000 crores lost. And the officers who are responsible for clearing the files were given money to perform lakhs of rupees of money by creating shell companies to perform the functions in their homes. Imagine how this system, the nexus between the contractors and the officers and politicians operate. Our rulers are investing in their farmhouses. Our rulers are investing in the palatial buildings where they never go. This money could have come to schools. This money could have come to hospitals. This money could have been spent on creating jobs. Today in Telangana, there are 35 lakh students, that is 3.5 million unemployed youth waiting for employment, and they have nowhere to go. And the government is not very keen on creating jobs. So this is what is happening in Telangana. That's one of the reasons why I thought it doesn't work to continue in government service. Or I had another 6.5 years service left. I thought I should not continue. Then I call it quits. Then I joined Bahujan Samaj Party on August 8th in the presence of 2 lakh people in Telangana. In India, most of the dominant party politicians, what they do is they pay 500 rupees per person to come the meetings. And they pay 2 to 3 cans of beer. And then they also pay for transport. And when we conducted meeting, all the liquor shops were open, but nobody went there. Nobody went there to those liquor shops. And then we did not pay even a single penny. People cooked food in their homes. And then they ate on the roads. Same cooked food they ate on the roads, and then they came to our meeting. So this is the kind of yearning Telangana people. Telangana, not just Telangana, Andhra, we have people from Maharashtra, Karnataka. So people are eagerly looking for alternative politics. People are looking for the politicians who can really invest in their development. So after 8, so then I started Yatra. So I have visited about 800 villages so far. 17,000 kilometers I have traveled ever since I have joined the Bahujana Samaj Party. So I was not sleeping in air-conditioned tents. So like many politicians, I was not sleeping in air-conditioned tents, and I was sleeping in the huts. Then I was, every day is a new setting. You know how difficult it is to sleep when the setting changes. So every day was a new experience for me, but I wanted to see it personally. I wanted to feel the real heart of Telangana, and the stories that I came across were really heartrending. I met a lady in a place called Ralagudam. She cooked only rice, and she was not eating. Then I asked her, why is it you're not eating? Then she said, sir, I'm looking for someone who can give me some curry or, curry or, curd. So that was a condition even today. We are celebrating 75 years of independence in India. We call it as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So this is the Amrit Mahotsav that is happening. Then I went to a place called 9th Mile Tanda. I met about 31 tribal women who were doing coolie. Then of them, 11 lost their husbands. Then I asked them, how did you lose your husbands? Then they said, sir, all of them, they drank liquor, they got addicted to liquor, and then they died. Then I thought, this is a solitary case. Then I went to a market yard where women come at 4 a.m. to market yards, and then they clean all agricultural produce. They remove all the mud that sticks to all the food grains, and then they make it marketable. And then they were taking rest, about 100 women. Of them, 40 women, they lost their husbands. I asked them, how did you lose your husband? Sir, they got addicted to drinking. Then I went to a doctor in Nalgonda. Then I asked him, what is the way where we can stop all these deaths? They said, stop liquor. Stop liquor, stop liquor. Because today in Telangana happens to be the highest liquor consuming state in India after Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh is a small state. So after Arunachal Pradesh, Telangana tops the list of 15 years and above consume liquor in Telangana like hell. So one day I went to a place called Nagaram, and then at 7:30 p.m., 9th graders were in intoxicated condition. 9th graders should be doing homework, should be discussing some things, or should be talking to their parents, or should be listening to their parents about the stories, or sitting around the dining table and eating food. But these 9th graders, they go to a liquor shop, do what we call as bed shop, and liquor is easily accessible. And then how did they get their money? They worked as coolies in a rivulets where you get sand. So and then they get about 100, 200, 300 rupees of money, and then they bring that money and then they drink liquor. And this is what is happening. Our government has earned 35,000 crores in 1 year by selling liquor. Who is losing this? Who is losing their future? Poor people. Government gets money, and with the same money, government again makes money. The selfish politicians make money. In that process, who lose the life? Poor people. So women are, this is a genocide of other kind. This is genocide of other kind, which you don't see any killer there. You don't see any Holocaust kind of scenario here. But this is a silent Holocaust, where people are being given. We are asking for education. We are asking for health. On the other hand, you are making the liquor easily available, which is harmful to the health. So this is what is happening. So that's the reason why we are on the, we are always fighting against the government, and fighting against the evils. And yesterday there was a huge issue. So yesterday While children were eating, there was a frog in their sambar. So you can imagine, if a frog is there in the sambar and then children again started vomiting. So these are the some of issues which happen every day. In the last 3 months, we had 45 cases of food poisoning in our schools. 45 cases of food poisoning. My question is, why don't they happen? I want every child to be safe. But my question is, why doesn't it happen in the schools where rich people send their kids? I'm not saying that rich people should also eat, poisonous food. No, I'm not saying that. But why rulers ensure that their children get the best possible food, and why they don't talk about the food poisoning incidents in these, schools, government schools, where 80% of the students go. So this is what is happening in our country, and so is the case with communal rights. So there is no communal harmony. One MLA recklessly makes a statement, and then Hyderabad goes for a toss, and then there is a law and order situation. People start pelling stones on each other. So on and so forth. So is the case with Bilkis Bano. So Bilkis Bano, a pregnant woman, gets sexually assaulted, and then she's murdered. And the people, the case gets proven, and then the people, spend 11 years in the prison, and then after good behavior, on the grounds of good behavior, those guys get released. And the ruling party of Gujarat felicitate these rapists. How can this happen in a democratic country? So this is what must be stopped. We must stop this kind of deterioration, this kind of degeneration of values at any cost. That's why there is a need for alternative politics. There is a need for good people joining politics, and there is a need for an alternate movement for alternative politics. It's not about a party which is getting votes, but we need a movement. We need a massive movement. We need a mass action which stops this kind of degeneration, which stops this kind of corruption, which saves the future of children. So that's why I'm here. So I thank the Global NRI Forum for making this happen, and then I really thank you. These many people. What I'm trying to say. So what I want from you, I want a lot of ideas. We want ideas from you because you feel for motherland. You have seen the other part of the world. You see how this part of the world operates, and then no day will pass without thinking about motherland. That's why you're all here. So when you get all those ideas, please do share those ideas with us. Help us reach out to as many people as possible in the motherland, because the kleptocrats, they have deeper pockets. They have thousands and thousands of crores to spend on spreading the fake news. They have thousands of crores to start WhatsApp universities. They have they have reach, they have long arms to go to the social media companies and arm kiss them because of the raw power, raw control they have over the democratic institutions. Like it could be CBI, it could be Enforcement Directorate, it could be anything. So they have raw power. So we want to stop this. So we need ideas from you. We need ideas, we need your time, and we need your prayers. So with these few words, I'm sure there is light at the end of the tunnel. So it's not as skeptical as it is. So definitely people will teach a lesson to all these faces, all these kleptocrats and all these corrupt rulers. But we need to be hopeful, and we need to come together, irrespective of all the artificial barriers among us. It could be caste barrier, it could be gender barrier, it could be communal barrier, it could be geographical barrier. We should transcend all these barriers and then come together for only one cause: make a stronger India, and then make an inclusive India, equal India, by investing in education, yes, by investing in education, by investing in health, and investing in jobs, and investing in frontier fields. That is how you make the country stronger. That is how you make the country prouder. So you see China, you see South Korea, you see Japan. All these people have gone through this phase, but they had rulers who really knew where to invest their every penny. So today we have rulers who are investing in their own prosperity. I don't want to go back to that subject again and again. So with these few words, so thank you very much. You have been a very, very wonderful, patient, and intellectual, and inspiring audience I've ever seen. Thank you very, very much.
We are going to take a few questions from audience, like very brief, straight questions.
I'll say it.
Yeah. So the straight questions: what, why, how, when. And you can make a brief comment because it's already late. We have small children, and so yeah. Who
I
wants-
also thank you for bringing your children here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important thing to involve your children. So the next generation, in Sanskrit we call it as parampara. So next generation should not, get disconnected from what these stories are very important. And the children must know what your journey, like Chris Kishore has been telling about his journey, and everybody has a story to tell. And these stories, your children must listen to them. And when they become like you, and they should take the baton from you and then move forward. So move forward. So thank you very much for bringing all your kids.
Is that, anybody? Quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. It was very inspiring speech I ever seen, I ever heard that. My name is Sanjay. Actually, I'm from Uttar Pradesh. I represent American Inter Center. I'm inviting you tomorrow. I think you might have heard it. I'm inviting everyone. Please join. So my question is, right now this situation is really bad in India, as you mentioned. Especially, I'm talking about UP. Okay, the youth are getting pride in their fascism. Like they are being more fundamentalist, right? They need mandir than job. They're openly saying it. I need mandir than job. So I'm sure this poison has not gone to south yet, but slowly it will. Slowly it will, because it is in the same direction.
Yes.
You mentioned it. There was one MLA got arrested. So that's just a case. So it's going everywhere. So my question is how to stop that? And this is very important to stop it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sanjay.
Very important question, very urgent, very pertinent, and it will have a lot of impact if we don't talk about this. A lot of adverse impact. See, why this hate is spreading so easily among the people, because the truth, the people who are supposed to speak truth are not speaking. So there is no opposing force to the hate. The people who are supposed to resist hatred are silent, are restricting themselves to their own families. So focusing on family and living for the family and taking care of family is not a bad thing. It's one of the important virtues of any human being. But that said, you have to live as a community as well. A community and a congregation and as a nation, so on and so forth. So the people who are supposed to speak truth are becoming silent, and then they are so scared of this tsunami of hatred, tsunami of fake news, tsunami of the reprisals and other bad things, vengeance. So, or police cases for that matter. So that's why they are spreading. They are spreading all directions, not just south. They are spreading all directions. So it is high time that we have as many congregations. So this is one of the important things. We are not against. I don't think this meeting is about any political party. This meeting is about making our country stronger, inclusive, and equal. Same thing must be happening in the villages as well. So same thing must be happening in the towns and then the cities, and then same thing must be happening in social media. So and same thing must be happening in all other universities and campuses. So we should not give up just like that. So we should be fighting. We should be with equal force. We should be coming together and we should be discussing about inclusion. If we don't discuss about inclusion, then exclusion will become the order of the day, and that is the that is the nightmare, and then that will make the nation. That's the worst nightmare anyone can imagine. So congregation, then interfaith dialogues, then dialogues on the future and dialogues on inclusion are extremely important, not just at national level, but at family level as well. Conversation is very important. Morning, I came across a family where the child of that family was asked by one of his classmates about what caste does he belong to. So where is that question coming from? How come a parent, although he is living in Western world, how come a parent is educating willy-nilly the child to inquire about some caste? Like, where is this us and they? Where is this binary coming from? So I think that's where the conversation is very important. Conversation is extremely important. This is what
Before we start the dinner, we're going to take a question from the youth. Next gen, okay. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Hello. So I wanted to say that I really admire how you've been advocating for equality, like regardless of socioeconomic status, gender, and like things like that, right? But how have you been doing things to promote equality within like the LGBTQ plus community in India? Because I know that they're really oppressed in the nation.
It's a very good question for which I have no answer yet, because India is waking up to this problem. But when you compare with LGBTQ status, 10 years ago, things have improved a lot. We have become more accommodative, and we have been okay with in the schools also slowly. Education system is very important, and schools also they are trying to understand the problem. And I would say it is a work in the progress. So I don't think India has solved the problem completely. It's a work in progress, and then we need to really invest a lot of time on LGBT. But thanks for asking this great question. Thank you.
Yeah, so kids can start having dinner, and we still can have QA, but kids can go there and they can pick up whatever they want. So dinner is there. Thank you.
Okay, just 1 second. See, this is next gen, okay? Oh, who is that? I saw, yeah. Look. Next gen.
Dr.Praveen Kumar, thank you very much that you have given your service to the community. And I saw that because of your commitment that you have done wonderful things to the community. How you will see how you accomplish your unfinished tasks in different sections of the society. My question to you is, starting from this point of the time, so how you will see how you accomplish your unfinished tasks, whether you are, how you will work as a politician, or you are working, entering into the state legislature, or suppose if you don't have the opportunity, how you will accomplish the task of your unfinished tasks. Otherwise, this work will perish like that. Because you have done so much of the things. It is unimaginable. No one can accept, think of that the way that you have done. So can you please explain your future so that we also will be very happy. So one day that our man will be there in changing the society in India, or any other plans for the vision of this counter implementation?
Thank you very much, sir, for this great question. So the most apt way of the apt answer is to get into corridors of power. Unless you have that political power to make the laws, to ensure that the laws are executed with clinical precision, such that they impact everybody, every set of the population. So till such time, this will remain as a dream. And if you don't achieve political power, all the good work, not just me, a lot of people have done good work, all that good work gets faded away. And society ensures that all that the great work is.
Rebecca and Naomi, where are you? Rebecca and Naomi, they're right there. Where are they now? Rebecca and Naomi. Rebecca, Naomi. Rebecca. Two daughters. One's 8 and one's 10. All over her hair. Indians. Where are my children? Where are they now?
They are here. They are here.
Where are they?
I think they may just step.
What do you mean they're outside? Grab them. Where are they?
They're outside. They're coming.
Let's get relax, they are outside. Let's continue. Sorry about it.
Should I?
Yeah, they're outside. Nothing to worry.
Sorry about that. So the best way is to get into political power and with good majority. So if you don't get good majority, then you should be able to ensure that all your ideas, all your agendas are made part of the legislation that is done by the ruling classes. So if you don't do that, then things will go, in a downward spiral manner. So that's why it is extremely important for all the sections which have been neglected to get into political power. That's what in UP, in 2007 to 12, you had great route. Then much before that, you had 1995, 1998. So 4 times UP had this rule, and then where I've seen with my own eyes their agendas got implemented in a big way, and then a lot of poor people have benefited because of BSP's rule. So political power is very, very important. So, and you should also find the right allies. So if you don't have right allies, then you alone will not be able to grab the political power. So you should choose your allies very, very carefully. So these are the 2 things for my answer to your question.
Hello, hello. Yeah, the kids are here. They're safe. They're outside. Sorry for the inconvenience. So you're going to ask the question: why, what, how, and when? Okay, straight, please. Okay. The question. Yeah.
Yeah. This is Mallikarjun. I am from Kadapa district. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to question you now. Actually, my question is regarding the party you selected here. Okay, one thing is you have very good vision. Okay, the way you came from down to all the way here, you saw all the ups and downs. Okay, and you want to help the people, no matter whether low caste or high caste, or it doesn't matter. You don't have greed and all this. Okay, you have only in one mind. You have in mind only to help people as a human, not like a caste, or you're not looking at those things. You are looking whether there are 2 creeds only. One is rich and poor. Only 2 things you have in your mind.
Haves and have-nots.
Correct. Have and have-nots. Okay. When you have that in your mind, you want to reach the bigger audience in the country, or in India, or in AP, or in Telangana, wherever it is. when you have in that in your mind, you should have choose your own party where you can lead from beginning to end. Like you have your own vision. When you have vision, you have to go with your own vision. You are just trying to carry somebody's torch. That is not good. That's what I feel. And also just think like who is Aam Aadmi Party guy. He had his own agenda. He don't want to compromise with somebody. He want to be boss himself and try to lead his ideas. When he want to lead that, then you don't want to be boss somebody to guide you and distract you your ideas and goals and whatever you have in your mind. It may take some time, but you should stick with your ideas, your whatever you have in your mind. Then you should lead that. Maybe start your own party. Then yeah, all creed of the people, maybe upper or rich people or poor people, based on your ideas, they will support with you, whether it is low caste or high caste, or it doesn't matter. When you have ideas are good, all kind of religions or people will support you, no matter what. Now you are narrowing down yourself to only some sort of the people where even you have so much innovative ideas, you are suppressing yourself. You are not really coming out of the ceiling actually. Being a so innovative, being a so supportive, being very high ideas you are sitting with so narrow-minded, like a narrow crowd. You should not be like this. That's what I feel. You have to take small steps. It may take longer, but you are very young and with some determination. Even you are IPS officer, you fit with some ideas to help more people. As an IPS officer, you can help only small people. You don't have much. Like Ambedkar, when he was in some civil servant side, he could not help much. He just joined in political side so that I can help more people. You have same kind of nature, same kind of mind, and same kind of aggressiveness to help more people, reach more people. When you have that kind of ideas, you should not carry somebody's thought. You should carry your own thought. You carry your own agenda. Maybe initially, maybe less people, more people later. That's my own. Now, why you selected this one?
Thank you very much for asking this question. A very long question, but my answer will be very short. So, at the very outset, I didn't want to rediscover the wheel. So, at this age, I don't want to experiment with too many ideas. And then, second, my personal wisdom, my personal agenda, or my idea of social justice firmly aligns with the Bahujan Samaj Party's idea of social justice. I have no confusion on this because Bahujan Samaj Party perhaps is the only party in this country which doesn't release manifestos, which because it says constitution, implementation of Indian constitution, particularly the preamble of Indian constitution, which enshrines the values like justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. They are absolutely fantastic values, and we don't need to rediscover the wheel. So I think I didn't even think twice when I decided on which party to join. Then third thing is, I think there is a conspiracy to brand Bahujan Samaj Party as a party of only SCs. So unfortunately, most of us are victims of the conspiracy. Bahujan Samaj Party is a party of everyone. So if you see the Bahujan Samaj Party's constitution, it includes every community and then every socio-economic category, and which is have not, which doesn't talk about haves. And the percentage of those have-nots is 85% in this country. That's what Bahujan Samaj Party says. But whenever we talk about it, they always say Bahujan Samaj Party is a party of scheduled castes or scheduled tribes and so on and so forth. So we, without thinking too much about that, we fall for the the kind of campaign, hate campaign that is happening on Bahujan Samaj Party. So it is a party of everybody. We give the party gave tickets to Brahmins, Thakurs, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, women, Muslims, Christians, everybody. So it doesn't discriminate anyone based on the religious and the socio-economic grounds. But it certainly, for sure, it talks about making the have-nots as rulers. It doesn't talk like, making the haves as rulers. It doesn't talk about dynasties. It doesn't talk about, grabbing all unto themselves. So it doesn't talk about that. So that's why I really like Bahubali Samaj. Yes, sir.
This is Kumar.
Yeah, please go ahead. You're audible. No, Roy, are the children safe? Yes, sir.
This is a general question in the current Indian political system. Now the media, one side is freedom of speech, freedom of expression is brutally killing. Second thing is the changing type of politics are running right now. And what are the alternatives for the political parties right now to face this kind of situations?
Very good question. Thank you very much. Reach out to people in the most smartest way. So one is through social media. Even I don't think social media is sacrosanct, because social media is also bought over by the governments, like the ruling parties are investing heavily into social media. So, but even then, there is a lot of space out there to use social media to reach out to people. Then second is go to people directly. So it is arduous journey, but it has rich dividends. So these are the only two answers for the question. Yes, thank you. Yes, please go ahead.
As a younger generation to help your cause?
Great, please. Have courage to speak truth. And when you discover that what you are saying, what you are seeing is the truth, and when you feel that the thing that you deeply believe in is going to change the world, stand by that and get ready for any sacrifice to protect that value and work for that value. So I want you to discuss this with as many people as possible, your friend circle, your parents, and then congregations, and then create your own circles, and then spread this word as fast as possible, and then create your own team. So that's the only way. But before you zero in on a value for which you have to stand by. So you have to be extremely rational, you have to be critical, you have to be you have to be considerate, and you should talk to as many people as possible before you refine and then stand by value. That's very, very important. But be courageous, and then don't ever worry about the failures, and don't ever worry about the rough patches that you might face in your journey. So that is what I want to say. But never ever live for others' values. That's very important. Don't be a conformist. So be yourself. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yes, Dr.RS.Praveen. It's nice meeting you. So one of the things you mentioned is to bring changes to come to the power corridor, right? But if you look at all these parties, there are a lot of career politicians switching from one party to other. That's one of the approaches to get into the party. And we are seeing like previous few IAS officers started their own party, but they are not successful at all. So what is your approach? How you approach in a different way, and what is your time frame?
I'm ready for a long haul, so I've answered your last question first. So there is no time frame in politics, but we'll continue to fight. Then yes, you're right. Most of the bureaucrats who started their own political parties have not been very successful. One of the reasons for this could be they stayed away from people. They never came out of their comfort zone. So, but you might ask me as to then if that is the case, then why were they successful? The success is a result of so many constellation of factors, but they could not sustain this success. Why? Because they stayed away from people. When people were suffering, they were sitting in their homes. When people were going to jail, they were still in their homes. And people were crying for help and they were not there to help them. And people wanted a voice that can resonate with them, and then these people were keeping mum. So if that is the case, then going to TV debates and releasing YouTube videos will not solve the problem. So you have to be with the people. That's one of the reasons why I didn't want to make the mistake what these bureaucrats have made. So I de-bureaucratized myself. I had shed all my bureaucratic things, and then I went to people directly. Then I stayed as humble as any politician could be. Then I wanted to learn from the people. I wanted to understand, and some of them even abused me. So because I was a police officer, so some of them even abused me. You have done this, you have done that, but still I wanted to be, calm and then quiet and then learn from the people. I wanted to be empathetic and then understand where that anchor is coming from. So this is very important. And, you have to be always with the people, and then people one day will take you as a leader. So, because that's very important. If you stay away from people, then ruling parties, what they do is they have so much of money. So they buy the middle level politicians, they buy the village level headmen, and they pump as much money as possible, and then they pump liquor, they pump money, they give saris, and then they do a lot of undesirable things, and then they buy the votes. And if you have good intentions, and then if you are not with the people, then people won't realize your importance. So that's why it is very important. That's where I think most of the bureaucrats who started their parties failed, minus Arvind. Thank you. Yes.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for inspiring all of us here. Actually, I am a typical mother and a professional, and I am not really into any politics. I don't have any political knowledge, though my husband really is an ardent.
That's your greatest strength.
So only recent few weeks after seeing your work, I'm really inspired by your work and highly motivated. Like most of us here who come from humble backgrounds from India, and we made it this far. So I pledge today in front of everybody, we want to support sir in this mission, in this endeavor to change India and also Telangana state as part of it. So I want to pledge from my side whatever work or whatever help we can do, whatever financial help also. Because at the ground level, the work needs to be done to encourage supposed to get. So we all, as Indians, and we want to give it back to the society. We all need to pledge that. Everyone needs to really have one commitment to help and support sir, and everybody needs to help financially also, because sir is going to fight with the warlords who had lakhs of rupees to support their cause. Lakhs of crores, sir. Just to get back to their pockets and power and all, they're investing so much money. So we all need to help sir to get the work he has to do. Thank you, sir.
Awesome questions. Last year I visited India, and after 11 years of duration, I visited in 2021, and I conducted a big meeting in my village and showed the food and all. And I promised to, build a big library. I find out a gap. Students are going to schools and colleges and coming home, and the parents are not educated. They are going to agriculture works, and they are not taking their work like what they are doing, what they learned in the school, and do they have any homeworks or not? Are they doing the homeworks or not? The parents are not able to do that. So to fill the gap, what I told them, hey, I build a big library and I appoint 2 teachers for your kids every day, evening. The teachers will come and you send your kids to there and they will clear your kids' doubts and complete the homeworks. Okay, so sir, I respect you. I'm following you since I heard a words from you while I'm doing the social media, randomly searching the YouTube. I heard your words, in the Telugu, the Kodavallu Patti Chetulu coding rayali, Dappulu Kotti Chetulu dollarlu sampadinchali. So that really touched my heart. Oh, who is this guy? Then I virtually following you since then, and I'm with you since then. So then it was 1 year back. So since then, none, even a single person contacted me. Hey, buddy, you promised to our village to build a library for our kids' education. Nobody contacted me. But people are contacting me to donate money to building a temples. Okay. And some other problems. To be honest, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God, so I don't donate even single rupees to God. Okay, so I'm taking care of intelligent people. But my question to you, sir, another thing is I'm believing your ideology, and from this year onwards, I'm donating some percentage of my earning to BSP party. Also, there is a system in TDP party. The system is, it does not matter whether it is 1 vote or 2 votes. People are going from America to India, especially from to Andhra Pradesh, to cast their vote for their respected parties. So I am promising you, sir, for every election, I will come to India as long as I live, and you are in politics. Okay, I will cast my vote to BSP.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And my question, I'm not done. Okay, so I'm talking to my village people. Okay. Question. Yeah, question. Yeah, question. Okay, I'm talking. Okay, sorry. Front of that is. Yeah. So I'm talking to my people in the village. Hey, guys, how many of you know BSP party, and how many of you know RSP, and how you are going to support the RSP, because he is working for everybody. Okay, from poorest of the poor to poor's in the richest. Okay, so how? What is your thoughts? They are telling we don't know RSP, we don't know BSP. So my question is, how you are going to reach the corners of the village, and how can you build your team in the villages? And I'm expecting your BSP agenda should be there in each and every village.
Thank you very much for being a very loyal, very committed supporter of Bahujan Samaj Party. I'll come to your first question. Very interesting observation. I also had the same observation. So as I shared with you that I have visited about 800 villages. 90% of the villages, none of the villagers asked me about the school. None of them asked about the school. As you rightly pointed out, some of the villages, they have asked, sir, please construct this temple, please repair our church. Our church is incomplete, or our mosque is incomplete. Please do this, please do that. But none of them asked about school, the quality of teachers, the textbooks, the library, or the computers, or the things to get ahead in life. One of the important reasons why this is happening is, as I said, 40% of Telangana people, I'm talking about Telangana, I have no idea about Andhra. So Telangana people are illiterate. Deliberately, they were made as illiterates. Governments have never invested in making them, literate. I've already shared with you the reasons why governments do not want women and men to be educated. So once they get educated, then they start questioning. So they don't want. And governments are always in the hands of dominant communities. So one of the important solutions to this problem is, like we have schools for technology, schools for medicine, we must also have schools for parenting. That's very important. I have realized this in the last 10 years of my service in education sector. We have started online schools for parents, and they've trained about 50,000 parents in this. What did we do in these schools? We didn't teach them read and write. We taught them about people like you. So look, there is a person called Lakshman, there is a person called Praveen Kumar, there is a lady called Smita. These are the humble beginnings from which these people have come. And today they are like, Srini, who is doing very well in his life, and then he was born in a village. And then the Srini will come and then tell the story. Why it is important? Because once the illiterate parents see a guy next door having gone to such a high position, and then without their knowledge, they start investing their time and money in their kids. Day before yesterday, I was in Bloomington. So in Bloomington, I met a person called Phul Singh. Phul Singh was a shepherd till his 9th year. Then he was working as a bonded laborer in a landlord's family. And suddenly somebody told that you are very intelligent, although you don't know how to read and write. So how is that you are working as a shepherd? You better go to a school. So he goes to a government school and then continues education. Later he became, the school of residential schools. And then today he owns Audi Q7. He owns a Honda car. But he was a shepherd. He was born in a village in a interior area of Nizamabad district. So if such stories are told to villagers, they will start investing in this education. That's very important. Otherwise, they'll ask money for wrong reasons. Okay. Then what was your second question? See, Bahujan Samaj Party are like any other party, but particularly Bahujan Samaj Party is a cadre-based party. They have a strict, cadre building programs, and then we go to villages, and then we find all the people from all communities who are interested in alternative politics, who are interested in inclusion, and then who represent the have-nots. So we call them, and then we train them about the ideology. Who started this ideology, starting from Chhatrapati Shahu Maharaj, Sant Narayan Guru, then Periyar Ramaswamy, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Manishri Kanshiram. All these people, we talk about their sacrifices and all. Then they get inspired, and then we slowly take them to companies, and then from a village committee to sector committee to assembly committee to district committee. Like that, we have a very solid structure, and then we also follow it up. And then after I took over, we have also made an electronic monitoring system, so where we monitor the activities of everywhere. It's really picking up very fast, and we are just 1 year old. Otherwise, after Kanshiram, this visit, the Bahujan Samaj Party never went to village level with the Telugu states or any southern state on the planet. But for the first time, we are going very deeper at a shortest possible time. Thank you.
Yeah. We are closing the question session, and there are 2 books. Everybody is required to sign on that. If anybody wishes, please sign on that. And I want to say thanks for some of the people who contributed so much for this program to be successful. First of all, Chris, brother, he handled entire things like the contribution is amazing.
Thank you, Krish. Thank you very much.
Then we have a great activist man, he's amazing. Last night we did our stage. Literally, we got some stuff on YouTube. Then I don't know, his craftsman skills are amazing. Satya, yeah. Satya, who hosted this program and everything. Satya, thank you so much.
Thank you, Satya. Thank you,
Brother Prabhakar, man, is
thank you, Prabhakar.
very, very
thank you very much.
And if I miss anybody, yeah, Brother Sarun, Pratibha, Sister Pratibha, yeah. these people are really amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. And if I miss anybody, yeah, sorry. Sorry, Andy. Andy is amazing. Thank you so much. And there are two men who cooked so well today. Sam and thank you so much.
Thank you, Manjulan.
And I want to say thanks to Vaaradhi and I Manjulan. You have been.
I will reserve my thanks till the last day.
Brother, you are very lucky to follow your son, to share your thanks. I'm really jealous. I would have joined you guys.
Roy
and Venkat.
Yeah, and driving.
Yeah, driving. And thank you so much, sir, for coming over here. We are really inspired. I am promising from my family. We are 3 people working, including my son. Definitely, every month we are going to contribute from my salaries. This is my promise.
No, but Srini, on this note, let me also tell you one important thing, ladies and gentlemen, young children. You don't know what you have today. Only future will tell us. I am the witness to that kind of future, and the seniors might know that the senior doctor is here. So this idea will grow exponentially, and it is going to take not just America, it's going to take entire country as tsunami. So you are going to see a brighter, much brighter future for the country, because you are all here today without any string attached to it. Thank you very much once again.
Dr. Kumar has already spoken about Global NRI Forum. This Global NRI Forum is only one goal. Connect like-minded people. So no religion, no caste, no class. We want to connect like-minded people. A network of networks. Network of networks. Absolutely. I'm going to use this word. We have a lot of organizations. I'm not going to name. Somebody said, a cameraman in Chicago said, I love Telugu functions, but the problem is they have like 45, 46 organizations. 45, and he talked some things, but we want to connect them of no base, just like-minded. When we come together, support each other, reason together, let's elevate, empower leaders like him. We need to work to transform India. India is at crossroads. We love India. So let's work together. Anybody wants to join Global NRI Forum? We are on the Twitter, Global NRIs Forum. So it is actually apostrophe in the emails, in the branding. We are not using apostrophe. So like you said, we are network of networks. Anybody can come, and we love to have you guys. Thank you very much.
Recently, I see one of the independent journalist video. Yeah, just simple question. Okay, so when we search the Google, like Reddy, Brahmin, Velama, or somebody else, you see the photos, okay, in the Google. But when somebody search Google, Dalit and Bahujans, you see the photos. So I'm requesting you all, can somebody, because there are very dynamic people in these categories also, like Sir RS.Praveen Kumar, and so many of them. So when I search, I should see RS.Praveen Kumar, Nuri Murali, so many of us. I'm not getting the names, but those people are not showing up on the Google. So I'm requesting you all, we are all intellectual communities. Let us reach out to Google and let us change the images on the world social media environment. Okay, so we have to see brighter faces. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, please go ahead for dinner. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Have a safe drive.
Organizers of the DC Metro, thank you very much. When we used to think about DC, it's just like, if you know anybody, after Global NRI Forum, the team is formed.
You showed your power.
People are actually, we actually, everybody said, I want to pick up, I want to pick up. All the 50 states. The only goal is to connect. Thank you very much.